Hey ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the channel. As always, it is Nick here, back with your daily crypto news and analysis, and today we're going to be talking about Hedera and Hbar'S, so sit back, relax, and before we fully jump on into this video, I do just want to ask guys to please leave a like on this video. It does help the channel grow immensely, and of course, I always do greatly appreciate it. Now, with all that in mind, let's just dive in and let's talk about Hedera. First off, I'm going to address the price chart. We're going to talk about some exciting things there, and then we are going to kind of move into a few other things, talking about the hack that happened on Axie Infinity and things like that. So first off, let's just dive in. Let's talk about Hedera. So obviously, we are up about 51.67% in terms of trading volume. Pretty cool. Nothing interesting too much in terms of price action besides that we are up to around 25 cents. We hit about 26.5 cents. Now, I will say this. The exciting thing is that there's a pattern that is being placed on the chart that we've seen before. What is that? Well, let's go and look at this. So first off, we see this pattern going back to the summertime. This is where we had this, major downward trend going off of the all-time high of course, the week of March 15th. Now, what is very similar here? What is, the difference between where we currently are and during this time? Well, first off, the major difference is that we've had this, sort of 1, 2, 3 downward tick. It was kind of like a, multi-downward trend week where it started back originally when we did hit the all-time high in March, and it was just a downward trend all the way until this massive, candle in the week of June 21st. But it kind of continued sideways before we had that next major breakout event. Similar structure, by the way, to what we've just recently seen. The date range from the day of the all-time high, or the week of the all-time high, I should say, to the day of breakout, it was about 133 days. Current structure that we are in now, it's been over 189 days, as you guys do see, and the current day or week that we are on in terms of the weekly candle is about 196 days fully. So a little bit of a longer consolidation, which will most likely lead to a much higher price target. Hence why, we do have this Hbar'S graph, which is the Hbar'S graph from the week of July 26th to the all-time high of the week of September 13th. Now, if we do continue on in terms of this upward trend, and the reason why I started on the bottom of this candle is because at the bottom of this candle, we are bouncing off of the 10-day EMA. Similar to the structure that we bounced off of back here in the week of July 26th, which was the bounce off of the 50-day EMA. So if we are continuing this upward trend, we will most likely breach around 65, almost 66 cents during the week of May 16th. Now, I'm not saying that we are going to continue on this nice sort of exact pattern, but if we do, this is actually going to be pretty interesting. Now, will this be our topping point? No, not exactly. This is just going off of this all-time high that we previously set. If we do continue this upward trend, we will most likely target this 82, almost 83 cent zone. We'll most likely have some sideways momentum, similar to what we see down here, before we do break out of that. But of course, my targets are still around the $3 to $6 range, which I reiterated the other day, during my one video. If we are talking about the current structure of, Hedera, is it, bullish? It is pretty bullish in terms of how much money is actually flowing in. There is a lot of narrative being pushed around Hedera simply because of DeFi, so that's actually fairly exciting as well. We could check out the volume real quick and see where we are currently on that. So weekly volume, still pretty, low. I would say that it is still in a diminished state. On the daily, so let me get rid of the, those candles. Let me get rid of this as well so that we can clearly see this. So you guys do see, again, the resistance being met at around the 200-day EMA. We really want to break out above that 26 cent zone for us to be really confirmed into a nice bullish pattern, but we need a strong break above that. The daily volume, though, is the most amount of volume that we've seen since February 22nd, which is pretty cool. Nothing too interesting, though, because we do still need a lot more volume to really push us up above some significant levels. Looks like we found some support at around like 23.5 cents. Most likely we'll, see it, a retest of that if we do continue to hit this resistance zone and can't really, have a strong breakout above it. You also see this resistance zone being that resistance going back as far as like the February timeframe and even, the beginning of February as well. So, right now the momentum shift would be breaking up above the fib level actually, which is the 236, almost at 28 cents. That will put us on a nice path to, again, the 382, which will ultimately lead us to my golden area, where we will most likely see a break above 38 cents. If we don't see a break above 38 cents, it's going to be the idea of, hey, are we in a bullish pattern for Hedera or not? A break above this point will tell us if we are very bullish, because as you guys do see going back as far as December, we had 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 tests of that major, resistance zone. So again, I'm really kind of looking at that summer structure. If we actually look at this on the daily, we could really kind of see this. So let me go to the bars graph and really kind of show you this. So off of the lowest candle wick, which our lowest candle wick is actually from February 24th. Same, candle wick from January 24th, by the way. So let's actually go off of this and let's look at this to the all-time high. So if we kind of continue onward into the structure, you can kind of see it a little bit, different, but ultimately very similar, as we are hitting that same resistance zone that we hit initially during that time frame of August. It's trading still sideways in a slow upward trend. I actually like the idea that this is hitting that resistance at that fib level yet again at around 33 cents before, of course, we do test and find some support at around 28 cents. Eventually trading sideways, testing that yet again, trading sideways yet again, officially getting that breakout event, again, getting that rejection out of, roughly the 40-cent zone, which is significant resistance, by the way, as you guys do see back here during October. We come down, retest that major support yet again, have that strong bounce, and continue onward and upward to about like 60-some cents. That's actually pretty interesting, to say the least, when we are talking about the current structure that we are in compared to that time frame back there. I do believe that we are kind of repeating that. Now, if we are looking at the bullish patterns or the bullish factors, look at the RSI. RSI looks extremely strong here. It's almost in overbought areas, but we are at the highest RSI level that we haven't been at since going back as far as like the all-time high during September. So again, that's pretty bullish. In terms of the Bitcoin price chart for Hedera, check it out. Right? Currently, we are on this sort of, again, resistance zone, similar to what we were doing during the summertime before we had that official breakout event. A breakout event here would be above all the EMAs. Of course, the 200-day EMA is not here on the weekly, but you guys do see the other EMAs that we really need to break above. For an example, a significant breakout event would put us around the 595 sat level. On the daily, we could really kind of see this as well. We are hitting significant resistance at around that 562-day EMA, which is also the resistance zone that we hit during March as well. On March 10th, we kind of retested this area as well. I'm really hoping for us to break over that 200-day EMA, which is at 578 sats, but ultimately that 236 level, similar to the USD pair, as you guys do see over here, is my target point. So around 28 cents for the USD chart. For the Bitcoin price chart, it's roughly around, I think it's like 642, yeah, 642 sats. So ultimately, that is what I'm watching for. Now, also, I do believe things like this are actually pretty bullish for Hedera. I think it kind of pushes the, momentum shift to things that are a lot more secure. Axie Infinity's Ronin network suffers a $625 million hack in what may be the largest one in DeFi history. This is also why I do believe that Hedera getting into DeFi is extremely bullish. I think it gives a lot more opportunity and a lot more choice to individuals that do want to have a lot more security within a network within the DeFi space. DeFi is a huge selling point for financial institutions, banks, etc. So I think that when we are talking about the DeFi space, I think a lot of these things that are these networks that are getting hacked and stuff like that is a crucial area to really focus on. That's why I do believe that Hedera being ABFT compliant is extremely bullish. So when we are talking about that, let's go check out this. Hedera, newly EVM compatible woos DeFi with $155 million HBAR fund. A lot of people are continuing to talk about the tokenomics, but think about it like this. This $155 million is going to get put to good use, especially when we are talking about decentralization within the financial area. I mean, these are going to be DeFi projects that could possibly, shift a lot of focus onto Hedera. Now, the biggest budget decentralized finance incentive program is coming from an unusual source, Hedera Hashgraph, an enterprise-focused mainstay from 2017 known for its blockchain-like distributed ledger technology. So this is going to be very interesting. I think that this is extremely bullish. If you are Hbar'S, a Hedera holder, this should very well make you bullish because DeFi is an massive market to really move into, or an industry, I should say, within this market to really kind of move into. So I think that this is very exciting. We do see here an official website reports that the chain currently accounts for $50 million in total value locked, but popular DeFi tracking platform DeFi Llama doesn't list Hedera among 83 other chains. With a gaudy incentive program and the recent addition of Ethereum virtual machine compatibility, the Hbar Foundation is hoping to follow the same playbook used by other layer 1s such as Near and Phantom to climb the TVL rankings. So, like I said, pay attention to Hedera. I think that the ROI value here and the appreciation in terms of value is going to start to move greatly. And of course, a few quotes down here. Hedera has always been focused on enterprise, and even within enterprise, focused on a discrete use case, which is efficient distributed ledgers and throughput. There's another exciting part of the industry focused on retail adoption. However, they also mentioned environmental, social, and governance (ESG) efforts, and a major retail-focused staking effort led by Stater Labs, the first recipient of a grant from the program. Which I also think that Stater Labs is going to be extremely huge for Hedera, as you guys do know, with like staking and stuff like that. But we do see here, I would hesitate to call it a pivot, but it's broadening our scope and taking what we've learned in the last 2 years and reshaping it in a way that's meaningful and usable by the average retail user. So like I said, I think that this is going to be very big. We also see here fleshing out the Hedera's fledgling ecosystem will be a key infrastructure within the next quarter or 2 quarters, including a lending platform, Oracle services, and DAO, tolling through song decline to specify specific protocols. So like I said, pay attention to Hedera. Like there's a lot of development happening. And like I said, like when we're talking about things happening within the DeFi space, this is very bullish. And of course, last but not least, I just want to quickly update you guys. Zeus market has hit over 2 million Hbar transacted. I think that this is great. I am launching my, Hbar NFT, project, on Zeus. I'm moving it over from Hash Access for many reasons, but I think that this is very bullish. I think that this really kind of shows you guys the demand behind Hbar NFTs. And of course, when we are talking about Hbar NFTs, we are seeing banks moving in on the NFT craze. Deutsche Bank has said the move by tech giant could legitimize NFTs. And we do see here, Deutsche Bank NFTs could go mainstream with Instagram's planned support. So I'm actually very excited for this. I think that when we are talking about NFTs in general, I think that this is a major area that a lot of these banks and financial institutions do want to move in on. We're even talking about like NFTs being on like the stock exchange and stuff like that. Like that's insane, but you guys obviously see the NFT market is extremely large. 50.1, almost $50.2 billion market cap. So again, so many things to look forward to. Hedera's absolutely killing it. And with that being said, I hope that you guys enjoyed this video. If you guys did, definitely leave a like, subscribe, turn notifications on if you guys want more free content. You guys are more than welcome to follow me on Twitter and join the free Discord down in the description below. As always, up to you all. Have a beautiful day or a beautiful night wherever you guys are in this beautiful world. This has been Nick. Peace out, guys.